Well, that debate was hard to watch. It was hard to see a man that I know personally to be good and decent, wise and kind leader appear so weak and vulnerable at the very moment we needed him to be strong. It was also hard to watch a convicted felon lie so viciously about our country and its people and the president and his record without any pushback. It was hard to watch the debate moderators do nothing as question after question went unanswered and we were drowned in lies. To be honest, the entire thing was borderline intolerable, and I know a lot of people who turned it off. So I understand people's anxiety and fear, and I empathize with the panic anyone who loves America and knows what's at stake in this election might be feeling right now. But the truth is, it doesn't really matter how we feel. Our disappointment or fear is almost irrelevant at this moment in time. The choice right now is Trump or Biden. And there's plenty of talk of replacing Biden with a newer, shinier model. And in a perfect world, maybe that's what we do. But our world is far from perfect. And there is no guarantee that another Democratic candidate could even get on the ballot at this point. Historically, we know that replacing a sitting president who has an incumbent advantage is a mistake that leads to the party in power losing re-election. And Republicans have already told us that any change in direction the Democrats attempt to make will result in a series of legal challenges that will ultimately end up at the Supreme Court. And if you trust this court with our elections, then you have not been paying attention. The cold hard truth is that those of us who believe in American democracy and human rights and the values of truth and justice need to be very practical and strategic right now. There is too much on the line to fester about a bad debate. Look at Biden's speech in North Carolina the very next day. Totally energized, night and day difference in performance. Yeah, it sucks that the debate went poorly. I just don't really think it matters. To paraphrase VP Harris, why should we waste our time talking about 90 minutes that didn't go well when we can talk about 3.5 years that did? We need to focus on what these two parties, not what these two men, offer the nation. The Biden administration is a well-oiled machine that is running the country beautifully right now, and most of his appointed leaders who are actually doing the day-to-day work of running our government will most likely be staying in their positions, giving our country the stability it so desperately needs. And the people that Biden has hired are more than competent. America is doing well by every metric a country is measured. Economics, stock market, unemployment, job growth. The Biden administration has passed more legislation than any administration since FDR. They have promised to work to restore the rights and protections of Roe and to fight for women's rights and gay rights and human rights and unions and public education. The Biden administration will protect the Affordable Care Act and Social Security and Medicare, while the Trump administration threatens to take all of them away. Take those programs away while also aggressively rounding up immigrants and stripping everyone from women to the LGBTQIA community of their rights. So I don't even know what we're talking about here. And if we really do need to talk about the men on that stage, as Biden said about Trump, have you ever heard a U.S. presidential candidate speak about our country the way Trump does? As a failure, a disaster, an utter embarrassment? He talks about retribution and who owes him and who deserves to be punished. His racism and hatred of immigrants was more than repulsive. He more or less said that every problem this country has is because of immigration. He painted 11 million people as psychopathic rapist killers out to destroy the country and take black jobs. Whatever black jobs are. Now, I understand he said those xenophobic, racist things with style, but the content was horrifying. There was no love of country, no patriotism, no hope. Trump might have come off as more powerful than Biden, but he also came off as more cruel and petty and ignorant. He's a showman, but he's also a pathological liar and convicted criminal who didn't answer a single question because he doesn't care about a single solution. Look, the debate was bad. I have no interest in saying otherwise. What I do need to say is having Trump as president again would be infinitely worse. We know that Biden can successfully run the country because he is doing it right now. And we know that Trump can't because he failed before. Do I wish the Democrats had better optics? Sure. But ultimately, I don't give a shit about optics. I care about this country. And I know that only one of the candidates on the stage feels the same. So.